And welcome back to the Factor Uncensored. An update from Capitol Hill. The House has passed a defense bill that automatically registers men who are between the ages of 18 to 26 for the military draft. This is part of the annual National Defense Authorization Act. As of now, the selective service is already mandatory for men between 18 and 24 years old. There's no military draft in place right now, but Congress and the president can reinstate the draft and force men to serve in the event of a national emergency or war. This hasn't been invoked in more than half a century. Some people on social media appear to have misunderstood this and believe a draft is coming or that they are automatically going into the military.
Yeah, who is it?
We're here for the military draft.
Draft?
That's correct.
Oh, you talking about my TikTok draft? My draft? They a little embarrassing.
No, young man. You are getting drafted.
Oh, the draft. Yeah, it's a little windy in here. You talking about the draft?
War! You are going to war!
I identify as a woman.
Let's talk about it on this Social Media Monday. Joining us now, our social media expert, Karen Diamant, and University of Houston downtown professor, Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld. So, Karen, I mean, you get videos like that, and then you hear or you see the post that the Congress is drafting people, and it's in some instances intentionally misleading people on social media. What have you seen out there?
Oh man, it is awesome. Just from a social media user's perspective, the TikTokers understood the assignment, and Cardi B called them out. She said, these people don't want to go to war, they're TikTokers, you know? And so they're just putting on their best, doing skits like what we just saw, and in a way making a little bit of a mockery, right, of the situation.
But those who don't research will believe that.
Correct. And so it's creating a social media war about going to war because of the draft. That the law hasn't really changed. It is just now an automatic enrollment, but you know, people don't read, people get all up in their social media feelings, and they just go into it with their skits, and that's what I'm seeing. A lot of people just that, you know, are saying, I'm getting drafted. They're doing skits, and people in the comments are going in on them saying, oh, you're a coward, and you know, people don't really want to go to war. And so it's the older generation chiming in on the comments, making fun of them.
They never really considered there is no war for us right now in the United States.
Right.
But Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld, let's go over this. What is happening? I can remember when I turned 18 back in slavery days, and I actually had to go to the post office and fill out the form. But now it's much easier, and this will make it even easier for those because you're required. Well, you tell us the law.
Right. Well, you've always been required if you're a male between 18 and not 24, 25 between that age range, you could be subject to more than $250,000 in various costs, as well as possible federal incarceration if you didn't fulfill that mandatory requirement. However, now this is going to automate that. So instead of people having to manually do this, it'll reduce the advertising expenses for the Department of Defense, reminding people of this obligation. So it's a little bit more of a streamlined process, or the intention is at least to not only add an extra year of range and increase some equity, because people have circumvented it. So they're trying to integrate systems to make sure that people, sort of like the IRS, always make sure that they can find you when they want your money.
Right.
At the end of the day, this is a way for them to say, well, you could be eligible. We haven't had one since '73, but we could make you go to war. Of course, you know, it's Monday, so the only draft I'm worried about is that flying saucer.
And you have a gold plate on the wall. but for those who are wondering, like, the current situation is like you sign up when you're getting your driver's license now. How does that work now versus automatic when you turn 18, you're in the system?
Right. As of now, when you file your voter registration, driver's license, those things, depending on how late you waited to get your license, but your voter registration, as a male, a social security card, things like that, they remind you, and they have to send out mailers, which are expensive, and so they ask you to self-select and remind them. But this system is intended to, again, integrate databases of Social Security Administration, Department of Treasury, and Department of Defense under this Authorization Act to allow you not to even have to think about it, and for them not to think about it when they press that button and say, actually, we do need your military service now. Button pressed, show up.
All right. We want to thank you both for joining us here on The Factor for Karen Social Media Monday.